Well, hello there, Cancer. How are you? It is so good to see you. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. And Happy New Year. So today we are going to take a look at 2025. We're going to take a look first at the overall energy for the year, and then we'll take a look at each of the 4 quarters separately to see what blessings or obstacles that may be ahead on your path. And I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I do have a very special 2025 reading so that you can see the energies for each of the 12 months, not just each of the quarters. So if this is resonating, you may want to take a look at that. I'd be honored to do a reading for you. All right, let's jump into it. Let's see what is on the horizon for you. Draft Spirit, see the big picture. You know, that's one of my favorite cards. This is very much Sagittarian energy. Seeing the bigger picture in your life and allowing yourself to see, I'm going to say, I'm getting the energy that this could have something to do with twin flames or deep connections in your life, relationships. It's the number 29, and 2 + 9 = 11. 11 is a master number. It's helping you to see who you are, but also how you relate to other people. Okay, let's see where this goes. Yeah, crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. All right, so this is a 9-year. 2025 is 2 + 0 + 2 + 5 = 9. 9 years are about closing things up. There's almost an energy here where, you know, you had Pluto in Capricorn since 2008 in your 7th house of relationships, right? And that can be all kinds of relationships, you know, relationships with family, romantic, business. I feel like there's a little bit of this energy here where you may feel as though the relationships in your life have been upended. Okay, it's almost like they're showing me that you're thinking that all of your relationships, it's almost like a bunch of rubble. You know, you could have distanced yourself or lost or had people leave your life a lot. Okay, a lot. And so it's a little bit about understanding who you are, your truth, right? And how you may have been seen by other people and how much of that was truly authentic to who you are. But I also think that these other people that maybe you have been in conflict with have helped you to recognize who you really and truly are. You may have had to go through periods where you recognize what you're not, right? They may have perceived you in a certain way. They may have said that you were a certain way, and you were like, that doesn't resonate. You may have been very angry about it or something like that. But now you're seeing the bigger picture of all of that. Yes, and it's helping you to step into your power. It's almost as if you could have, you know, after 15 years of Pluto being in your 7th house, you could be stepping into this energy of regaining your power, because even though it was a very difficult transit, even though you may have had to distance yourself or been distanced by people, leaving this sense of a lot of relationships that are no longer in your life, that were maybe a big part of your life in 2008. You're understanding the big picture of that is helping you to step back into empowering yourself in the truth of who you are. Wow. This is the 9-year. So this would be looking back at 2016. That was our last 9-year. What things closed out for you in 2016, thinking that 2017 was a 1-year. So that means the cycle starts again. What relationships maybe have you lost since 2017, but also gained since 2017. How are those different? I'll bet there's a strong energy that they are totally different. You may have had to let go of some people, but the new people that have come into your life are maybe more in alignment with who you are wanting to become. Even if it's not that many people, maybe it's just a new friend that you've made, right, recently. It's just understanding, okay, I had to allow myself to go through this difficult transit in order to really figure out who I am. Yes, and it's bringing you good fortune. That is exactly right. That was a difficult transit for you, Cancer, because you are such a caring soul, right? You care very much about the people in your life. And so to go through that transit, especially of partnerships and close relationships, was very difficult. It rocked you to your core, but it was partly empowering because you had to really go deep and figure out who you are and what it is that you really wanted. You may have had people that were in your life that you thought were very important to you, but you recognized that they didn't want for you what you wanted for yourself, right? They wanted you to stay confined to the role that they wanted you to play instead of the role that you want to play for yourself. Yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, it's so amazing. It's like, you know that, oh my goodness, 10 of Cups, right? Soulmates and 10 of Cups. You're moving towards what it is. It's almost like your soul knows. There's a little bit of energy here of maybe not really having to do much this year. It is a reset year. We don't normally start new things in a 9-year. If we do, a lot of times they don't last. So it doesn't mean you can't start a new friendship or something, or a new romance. But a lot of times they don't last. They're really to help us to reset and think about what we do want to plant in 2026. So think of it this way. This is the year where if you were a farmer, you're getting the field ready to plant, right? You're plowing it. You're getting all the rocks out of it, the debris. You're pulling all the weeds. You're tilling the soil. You're preparing the soil for next year's seeds that you will plant. This is a year of kind of like, figuring out maybe what you do want to plant, but not actually planting those seeds until next year. And a lot of times we feel a little bit deflated when we hear that, right? Because it's like, no, I want to take action. I want to go after what it is that I want right now. But it is about recognizing that this year is about building that strong foundation, cultivating that field and making sure it's really nourished and ready to be able to take the seeds and to help the seeds to grow the best that they can. This is the energy of taking action on preparing yourself for what it is that you want to plant in 2026. And I think that that's what you're doing. I think you do have something that you are really wanting to do. King of Wands and the great achievement, right? But it's at a distance. It's not readily available for you right now. It is that energy of understanding, okay, I can see into the future. I love to decorate, right? But one of the things that I do, I'm a very visual person. So when I'm in the midst of decorating a room or something like that, right, I stand back and I squint, right? And then I try to visualize the room finished. And it kind of like gives me a little bit inspiration to keep working on it, or, it just kind of like gets the juices going again. And I think that that's what you're doing. If you look, the giraffe might be squinting a little bit. It's kind of like, okay, I know I'm not quite yet ready for what it is that I want in the future, but I'm taking action. You're actually inspired, motivated to take action on it. It might mean that you have to, if you want a new romantic partnership in the future may mean that this year you're having to end a romantic relationship, or you're healing, you're finishing the healing, the mending of a past relationship, right? You're getting yourself ready. This is the energy. You're getting yourself ready for the new life that you want. And you know that it's worth putting the time into it to prepare. It's a little bit like if you were going to take a long trip. You wouldn't just be spontaneous and jump on a plane or something. I mean, you can do that, right? But if you want to really enjoy the long trip, you're going to think a little bit about what you may need to take with you as far as clothing or medicines, or who's going to take care of the dog, what are my plans, right? So that when you actually go on the trip, you can truly enjoy it. And there is something about the fun anticipation of a trip. A lot of times I think the anticipation, the planning, the getting ready part is just as fun as the trip itself. Okay. Yes. Okay. There's something here. You have the 9 of Pentacles, nice energy there, independent energy. But then you have the Queen of Wands and the Judgment in reverse. And so, we have the King and Queen of Wands. There's a little bit of energy here of trying to decide what you want to do about a certain relationship. Okay. So this could be a relationship you're in now. It could be a relationship that you may have thought you wanted at one time. And it can be romantic, especially with the King and Queen, but it doesn't have to be romantic. But it is about understanding you haven't really and truly decided what you want to do about this. It's a little bit of the ostrich in the, putting its head in the sand, kind of like, what do I want to do about this? I'll think about it tomorrow, right? And this is you coming to terms with what it is that you want in the future and how does this person fit into that. And if they don't, okay, then it's kind of like allowing yourself to say, I need to decide and end that situation. The other thing is you could be, if you're distanced from this other person, right? You're separated at this time. Could be a little bit of energy of waiting around to see, are we getting back together, right? What are they doing? What are they thinking? This is you deciding for yourself what it is that you want in the future. Does this person fit into that? And I think when you ask yourself that question, you're going to figure out the answer, right? You're going to be able to say, well, I want this, but that's not what they want. So there's no way that they can fit in, or yes, So I think there is something about taking a look at that and not allowing your emotions to sway your decision. This is a little bit of stepping into your King of Swords energy, right? Seeing things clearly, pulling away from the situation and looking at the facts of it and making a decision based on that. Sometimes when we allow our emotions to carry our decisions, we can make them hastily. We can make decisions that aren't necessarily in alignment with what we want for ourselves long term. And I think that's what you're kind of you're spending some time figuring that part out. And that's January, February, and March. So then in April, May, and June, I think you are perhaps trying to mend something from the past, but you don't have to. It's kind of like healing. If nothing else, healing yourself and looking at what it is that you truly want and know that you deserve. Remember, you had the great knowing, the deep knowing here, right? You know that there is something that you really and truly want for yourself. It's allowing yourself to go towards that. Wow. There is a good chance for some of you that you are wanting to recycle. Well, that's kind of interesting. Reconcile with somebody from the past, okay? And it's a little bit, there's two things. I think that's the decision you're making in January, February, and March. You're either deciding, no, This person is not moving forward with me. And now I have to take the steps in order to have that happen. Okay, so you could be leaving like a marriage or a business partnership or something, right? And that doesn't happen overnight. I mean, you say the words, but then there's a lot of legal things that you have to go through to unhook yourself from somebody, right? Either that or you're deciding, okay, I'm distanced from somebody, but I really want that person in my life as I go forward. Like I may have hastily, right? The energy of haste. I may have hastily, or they may have hastily made a decision that you're kind of saying, no, that was just a decision made out of emotional haste. And so now you're trying to mend that situation because you do want that person to come forward. You're making that decision. Now, I think you also are very cognitive of the fact that that person may not want to move forward with you, right? But it's kind of like it's decision day. I think you're deciding, maybe having a conversation with that person, deciding, are we going forward together or not? And if not, let's start that process. And if you are, I feel like it's kind of like, okay, let's move on to the next chapter. What do we need to do in order to reconcile and bring that to a good place? So once again, that's not like, hey, let's get back together. I think something happened, right? So it's kind of like, okay, should we go to counseling? Are we going to move, to a new location so we can get a fresh start? There's this energy of how do we go forward? How do we make this successful? I think you are wanting it to be successful. So it's about not doing it in haste, but it is about strategy, planning, and not allowing your emotions to take over. So the third quarter, you have stuck energy, okay? But you're seeing clearly what it is, who you want to be around, community. You're seeing clearly, you're speaking your truth. Who is it you want in your life and who is it that you do not want in your life? This is a little bit of cleaning up after Pluto, right? It's kind of like, okay, some you may not have any say in, right? And others, it's a little bit of this energy of, okay, I want a fresh start in 2026. I think you're really wanting a fresh start in 2026, but knowing that you have to allow yourself to kind of deal with this. Yeah, you have options coming in, trying to see clearly what it is that you want. This isn't for everyone. This would be very specific for maybe just one or two, but it's a little bit about understanding, like say you want to sell your house. You can't just decide to sell your house and sell your house that day, right? You have to get the house ready. You may have to put some money into putting on a new roof or, cleaning out the closets, whatever it is. You also have to find a place to move, right? It's a process. And that's what you're understanding, is that you're really allowing yourself to go through that process in order to step into the life that you really and truly want. Yeah, you're looking at why you have allowed yourself to not make this decision. There's this whole, the Page of Swords twice, right? But this page is holding the sword up, and the sword represents our truth. It represents victory. You want to be victorious as you move forward, but you also want to bring your sword down and unlock the lies or the hidden information, right? It's a little bit like we're speaking the truth here. We're speaking the truth. And this is the third quarter, because I think what you're understanding is you haven't quite spoken your truth. There's a little bit of energy here of I'm speaking my truth, and let the dice, lie. Let the cards fall onto the table. It doesn't matter. I'm speaking my truth because I know the only way I can move forward is to be powerful and know what my truth is and allowing others to hear what my truth is. And I mean, you're doing it in a loving way. It's not like, you're coming in with your sword and it's an energy of, I have to speak my truth so that I can move on, so other people can make a decision based on the truth of how I am feeling or what I have been hiding or something like that. I have to say my truth so that others can decide based on using that information, right? Yeah. I think maybe you have been hiding. I'm not saying a bad truth or anything, but there's something here where you haven't really been sharing perhaps how you really feel about a situation or something like that, and allowing that information to be shared so that other people in your life can understand you better, but also can use that information to make decisions in their own life, because that is what the fourth quarter is. So this is October, November, and December. You have the Judgment card, right? You have the angels of the four directions, and you have Treasure Island. Seeing the treasure of who you really are. Seeing the treasure of the people that are in your life as you close out 2025. And knowing that they're going to be with you in that new year, that 1 year of 2026. You're going to know who's wanting to plant seeds with you as you move into 2026. This is a strong ending to the year. It really is probably the strongest out of all the readings I've done so far. It's this clarity of making the decision, but this is a year of decisions. This is a year of reassessing who's with me and who's not. When we have those tower moments in our lives, that is, I mean, at least I have found, that is where you find out who your real friends are, right? Who really has your back. And I think that's what you're figuring out this year. You're kind of understanding, right? I don't think you have a tower moment, but I think that's what the rubble is. It's kind of like understanding who really has your back and who doesn't, and who is really going to move forward with you in 2026 as you are planting new seeds. Yeah, this is beautiful. I think for a lot of you, you may be coming into a lot of money. There is, Pluto has moved into your 8th house, which is about death, taxes, secrets, inheritances, right? For some of you, you could be coming into some form of a windfall that does help you to move forward, okay? And it's kind of like, yes, here comes something that's going to help you to move forward, especially after a long time of feeling like maybe you didn't quite have everything that you needed. Because you're putting time and energy into figuring out, this is kind of like the Knight is bringing in one pentacle, one seed, and you're recognizing who is going to help you to nurture that one seed so that you can have the 10 of Pentacles, right? It's understanding who's with you and who's not, and making that decision. And there's a little bit of energy of removing the emotional baggage or the emotional part of that decision, and being a little bit more clear cut in your mind, seeing things for what they really and truly are, right? Pulling yourself back from the situation, looking at it from afar helps us to see things a little bit more clearly. One of the best things that you can do when you're in a situation, you're having a hard time with the emotions of a situation when you're dealing with somebody else, is to pretend that you're explaining the situation as if you were explaining an accident you witnessed to a police officer, right? All facts. The police officer doesn't want to know your emotions or your insight or anything like that. The police officer is going to say, stick to the facts, right? And when you allow yourself to write down the story based on the facts as you know them, right? It's a little bit of you're seeing the clarity of who's really with you and who's really not. And you know, it's taking out all the shoulds, right? It's taking out all the shoulds. I should stay with this person. This person is a part of my life. This person is a part of my family, whatever. It's taking out the shoulds and just saying who's with me and who's not. And I'm ready to make those decisions and get ready for planting those seeds in 2026. Beautiful energy. Beautiful. I do feel like there's somebody you have the Six of Pentacles on the bottom, and you see this person in the middle. I think there's somebody that's trying to become, that has been playing a role that's in between you and somebody else, or wants to be in between you and somebody else. It's a little bit about recognizing perhaps how they have tainted your opinion about somebody else, or tainted a relationship that you had or have or would like to have with somebody else. You know, this is somebody dropping in their 2 cents worth, but it's about you deciding, how do I feel about this relationship? Or what do I want, you know, with this person? Is this person part of my life? And perhaps asking yourself, is this third person part of your life too? Or is this person need to be dismissed, right? All right. All right, let's pull a soul truth card for you, Cancer, for some final advice. And once again, I do personal readings. I have a special 2025 reading up. This resonated. You may want to check that out. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. All right, what can I do to make a difference? Yeah, I think you've been spinning. There's a little bit of spinning your wheels here. I think you've been spinning your wheels, trying to figure out this emotional situation with relationships, okay, over the last 15, 16 years, right? It's kind of like you're cleaning up that little bit of, you know, baggage, I guess you might say, and really and truly asking yourself, where do I want to go as I move forward? How can I make an impact on the world? Who's going to support me in that, right? And recognizing, if somebody's not on my side, then maybe I don't have room in the boat to take them with me as I move forward, right? I have to leave them behind. I can't be weighted down any longer. All right. Well, Cancer, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey and for being part of mine. I wish you so much love and light, happiness and blessings in 2025. I really appreciate all your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I hope to see you again really soon. Happy New Year. Bye for now. Much love and light.